Ken Jennings was already the greatest player on Jeopardy! With a 74-game winning streak before he was selected as the host. Harrison Whitaker is also one of the best with his 14 straight wins. But Jennings had a disagreement with him, which was clear in the Q&A session that the host had with the studio audience in a recent episode of the show. The video was posted after Whitaker had recorded his final game, as per a TV Insider report. In his episode, Whitaker had revealed to Jennings that one of his dreams was to own his own bar or pub where he could host trivia nights that were going to be tough. The competitor had hosted such events in the past, but was usually asked to tone down the questions, as the competitors weren't all that well versed, but Whitaker was not a fan of this. "Because in the past, I've hosted lots of trivia and quiz nights at pubs, but eventually the landlord tells me that I need to make it easier, and I'm sick of it," he had said. This amused Jennings, who then asked, "You want your own bar, just so you can run brutally hard trivia and no one can stop you?" The host of the show even went on to call the 14-game champion a trivia dictator. After the episode, fans might have been interested in knowing if Jennings ever wanted to engage in the bar trivia scene. Unfortunately, the host has no plans of doing so anytime soon, as he believes it is a rather awkward environment. "I do not play much bar trivia, I have to say," he said. "It's kind of an awkward situation. It's weird if I win. It's weird if I lose. Like nobody's happy either way, I think," the host added. Whitaker's 14-game streak came to an end with him taking $375,999 home. It came to an end on December 1, in which the final Jeopardy clue was, a 1959 4-cent stamp depicts an eagle and a maple leaf beneath the name of this project, as per a report in Indy Star. Whitaker was up against Libby Jones, a recruiter from Davenport, Florida, and Brendan Thomas, a historian from Fayetteville, Arkansas. The champion was leading before the clue with $21,000. However, he had answered incorrectly and wagered $13,401. The Ambassador Bridge was the incorrect answer, and that dropped him to $7,599. The other two contestants got the answer right, St. Lawrence Seaway. Jones had wagered enough to get to $24,801. She was the one who ended Whitaker's winning run after 14 episodes. When you've hosted Jeopardy! Long enough, you think you've seen it all: champions who run the board, players who freeze at the buzzer, and contestants whose personalities electrify the studio audience. But on last night's episode, even Ken Jennings found himself in a hilariously uncomfortable on-air moment when he jokingly referred to the reigning champion, fresh off her 14th consecutive win, as a trivia dictator. While the audience erupted in laughter, the contestants' reaction turned the light-hearted quip into one of the most awkward moments of the season. A historic run. With a complicated vibe. This season has seen its fair share of impressive champions, but none have made waves quite like Melissa Turner, a librarian from Colorado whose soft-spoken demeanor hides a ruthlessly efficient gameplay style. Melissa's run has been dominant, bordering on intimidating. She reads clues fast, buzzes faster, and has a strange talent for pulling obscure knowledge out of thin air. But she projects none of the traditional charisma viewers expect from long-running champions. She rarely smiles. She barely reacts to applause. She stands at the podium like she's guarding a national secret. Her opponents, meanwhile, often look like they're trying to avoid making sudden movements. Even fans online have noticed, with social media dubbing her the Quiet Crusher, the Librarian Terminator, and the Human Encyclopedia that might destroy us all. So when Ken Jennings made his now viral joke, the moment felt weirdly inevitable. The comment that stole the show. The awkward moment unfolded during the post-game interview, traditionally the time for friendly banter, applause, and light teasing. Melissa had just secured her 14th win, tying her for the 11th longest streak in Jeopardy! History. Her score was triple that of the next contestant, and Ken seemed prepared with a clever line. After the applause faded, Ken looked at Melissa and said, "You know, Melissa, at this point I think other contestants aren't just playing against you, they're trying to overthrow you. You're becoming a bit of a trivia dictator." The studio audience chuckled immediately. Melissa did not. Instead, she blinked once, stared straight ahead, and offered a thin, polite smile that somehow looked like it was carved from stone. Then she said quietly, "I prefer effective leader." The crowd roared with laughter, but Ken, the king of deadpan, seemed thrown off for the first time all season. He raised his eyebrows, laughed nervously, and muttered, "Fair enough," before moving on. The internet explodes. Within minutes of the episode airing, social media lit up with reactions. Melissa really said effective leader like she runs an underground trivia government. Ken calling her a trivia dictator and her not denying it? I'm scared. This woman is playing Jeopardy. Like she's annexing territories. Meme pages started posting photoshopped images of Melissa wearing a crown, holding a gavel, or sitting in front of maps with red arrows pointing at rival podiums. One fan even edited her voice saying effective leader over ominous background music, turning the episode into a full-blown comedic thriller trailer. Ken Jennings, the master of the unsmooth moment. Ken Jennings has walked a fine line as host, part warm dad joke machine, part quick-witted improviser, part proud ex-champion who has been through every type of contestant imaginable. But this moment reminded fans that even the most seasoned host can accidentally stumble into awkward territory, especially when dealing with someone as intensely focused as Melissa. The best part? Ken actually loves when contestants get unintentionally intimidating. As he said in a 2023 interview, "Players who don't realize how scary they are my favorite. They're like golden retrievers who can also do calculus." Still, last night's interaction had him, just for a split second, looking like he didn't know whether to laugh or salute. Melissa's gameplay, brilliant or brutal? Her run has sparked debate among fans. Is she a genius? Is she too serious? Is she secretly planning to take over the entire game board? Her style is unshakable. She rarely wagers aggressively, but she almost never gets a question wrong. Her speed on the buzzer has been called unnerving. And her uncanny calmness throughout stressful moments has fans comparing her to an AI disguised as a person. One former champion tweeted, "I've played against monsters before, but Melissa is built different." Even Ken has commented on her precision during earlier episodes, joking, "I'm not convinced she even blinks." So, calling her a trivia dictator, while extreme, wasn't exactly out of nowhere. Behind the silence, Melissa's post-show interview. After filming, Melissa did speak briefly with the production team. According to sources, and fans who attended the taping, she wasn't offended at all. In fact, she found the moment funny. She just processes things slowly and doesn't always react quickly on camera. When asked about her effective leader comeback, she reportedly said, "It just felt accurate." That line alone may go down as one of the best deadpan moments ever seen on the show. Fans now see her as an icon. Since the episode aired, Melissa's following has exploded. Fans who were once unsure about her personality are now completely obsessed. One trending post said, "She went from intimidating to iconic in one sentence." Another said, "Melissa is the villain we deserved. A polite, well-read villain." And yet another, "I will join the trivia dictatorship if she'll have me." Even Ken leaned into the joke later on social media, posting, "I, for one, welcome our new trivia overlord." Melissa returns tonight to attempt her 15th win, and after the viral moment, the episode is expected to draw more viewers than usual. Producers reportedly love her stoic charm, and Ken is likely to be extra careful, and extra witty, tonight. The question is, will Melissa soften, or will she lean even further into her unexpectedly fierce persona? One thing is certain. If she keeps winning, every contestant stepping onto that stage knows they're not just facing a champion, they're facing a legend in the making. And they might want to think twice before challenging the trivia dictator herself.